A difficult start to the 2022-23 season saw Brendan Rodgers sacked at Leicester City. The club had stopped competing for European football and didn't look likely to hit the heights that had previously seen them win the FA Cup. Rodgers has now returned to his former club Celtic to rebuild his career, but we're going to drop him into another club from way back in his CV, Reading. The Berkshire club have suffered years of mismanagement and financial issues, repeatedly being hit with point reductions. They find themselves in the third division of English football for the first time in 21 years and on the brink of collapse. The challenge for Rodgers then is to return them to the top division of English football and to push on to fulfil his own ambitions, winning the Champions League and the Premier League. I've made all of the changes to the divisions after the 2022-23 relegations and promotions, and I've recreated Reading Stadium as faithfully as I can, but however, the thought of calling it the Select Car Leasing Stadium makes me want to gag, so we'll be back to calling it the Medeski Stadium. First things first on Brendan's agenda is to clear out some of those players on high wages that Reading simply can't afford. Lucas João, Junior Hoilett, even Tom Ince, no one is safe, everyone's going onto that transfer list. And we'll be making do with what we've got in club, terminating some of those big high-profile loan moves, the likes of Jeff Hendrick, Baba Rahman. They can go back to their parent clubs and we'll make do with what we've got in club. His departures from the club then, Yakou Mete off to Royal Antwerp. He's actually left the club in real life as well. Femi Aziz, promising player, but we had to cash in. And then Junior Hoilett off to join Saint Etienne. We'll be turning to the youth squad to replace a large percentage of these players and hoping the academy can produce for us throughout this rebuild. A couple of players to highlight early on. Owen Pearson, already up to a 75, highly promising youngster. He'll be straight into the first team. And Stefan Kone, another winger, looks like he's got bags of potential. Using some of the income from those early transfers, we're going to upgrade our youth academy staff, the scouts, sending them all off to their home countries for the duration of the season. A couple more departures then. Liam Moore and Tom McIntyre both leaving the club. Tom McIntyre, a player I did want to keep around, but we've got to make those hard decisions. An incoming player as well to highlight, Matthew Garbett, the Kiwi, joining us as a free agent, hopefully to provide some cover as a box-to-box midfielder. There he is then, Brendan Rodgers, front and centre in his first press conference ahead of Reading's first game in the third tier in 21 years. Can we get the win against Wycombe Wanderers? This is how we're going to line up. We'll be going with a 4-3-3 in League One. A few players we want to keep around for the long haul. Tom Holmes. We've allowed ourselves to keep Cesare Casadei as a full-time player. Tom Ince as well, unless we get a good enough offer for him. And the same goes for that exciting youngster, Owen Pearson. And the first game of the League One season turned out to be an absolute cakewalk. Wycombe Wanderers offered very little. A couple of assists for that youngster, Owen Pearson. And 2 headed goals for Andy Carroll. Can he take the Golden Boot in League One this season? And after that big win, I think we can afford to lose at least one more player, Andy Yidam, the team captain, heading off to Watford for 1.5 million. And we're already starting to see a couple of offers come in for Owen Pearson. This time we've got an offer from Turkey, £20.2 million. It's a big offer which has certainly helped to balance the books just a little bit more, but I think with half a season we could get even more for the lad. Especially if he keeps scoring goals. He grabbed his first for the club against Blackpool to give us a win 2-1. Highlighting another promising youth prospect here, Joseph Bentley. We're going to be putting him in straight between the sticks, taking Joe Lumley's place. High potential for the English shot stopper. Another few highlights here against Charlton Athletic, where we ran out 4-1 winners away from home. Ajaria getting the assist for Cassidy here, both players performing at a high level for the club this season. That win leaves us just outside the playoff places in 7th. Only 3 points separating us in 7th and Derby County top of the table. Heading into January, and we have got that big offer for Owen Pearson. Fenerbahce offering us 50 million for the youngster after just 6 months in professional football, and we're going to take them up on that offer. And we're going to put that money straight in the bank. Only time will tell if we end up regretting that decision. We'll be keeping an eye on Owen Pearson throughout this rebuild. Academy is shaping up quite nicely. Another promising centre-back here. Jude Brewer already sitting at 67 overall at just 17 years of age. Into the second half of the season then, and we decided to quick sim our game against big rivals Oxford United. What a mistake that turned out to be. We were 2-0 down within 20 minutes and we're going to have to jump in. Instant impact here as Tom Ince floats a free kick straight onto the noggin of Andy Carroll, who loops a header over the goalkeeper. 2-1. Levelling it up in the second half, Andy Carroll turns provider, setting up Welch, a youth prospect, to make it 2-2. And what a day it turned out to be for the youngster. He grabs a winner, latching onto Tom Ince's through ball. He has the presence of mind to gallop into the area and slam it past the goalkeeper. 3-2 to the Royals. It took Stefan Coney just 8 minutes of his professional debut to score his first goal for the club. He ended up scoring a hat-trick on his debut against Cheltenham. As soon as we got him on the ball, I knew we weren't going to miss Owen Pearson. This lad looks like a right player. We let them level it up with 10 minutes to go before half-time, but no bother. Some good play just before the half-time break, knocking around the midfield, waiting for that space. Tom Ince sets up Ajaria, who puts us back in the lead. Cementing our position in the second half, Cesare Cassidy sets Andy Carroll away, and he gallops into the area and makes it 3-1. And now we were purring. Look at this football. Guinness Walker bides his time, plays it inside to Cassidy, sets Ajaria free down the left wing, comes back inside for the return ball, into Ince, loads of space for Kone, and he's got us his second of the game. It's fair to say that Cheltenham capitulated after that, Ajaria grabbing his second of the game with 15 minutes left on the clock. And we still found time to add one more, the hat-trick for Stefan Coney. Stefan Coney gets the better of that defender, latching onto the through ball. He runs through on goal and slots it past the keeper. Match ball for the young lad. We were playing some lovely football, and performances like that have put us top of the table. A great second half of the season. With 4 games left, we sit at the summit. And it was Kone again who wrapped up the league title for us. His header in the 71st minute, returning us to the championship at the first attempt. And that's it there at the Madstad. We end up winning 2-1, Coney's goal getting us the win. We've sealed the League One title. I'm sure there would be some Reading fans who wouldn't be happy to see Brendan Rodgers back at the club. He didn't exactly leave in the happiest of circumstances, but he certainly proved them wrong here, leading us to the title.
It's a special moment in the career of any footballer.
Scenes of jubilation at the Madejski as Tom Ince lifts the League One title. A great season for the club, a good start to this rebuild. This is shaping up to be a special team. Andy Carroll finishing second in the scoring charts with 21 goals, and Tom Ince leading the league in assists. To highlight a few outstanding youth players from the season, Joseph Bentley, the goalkeeper, who I believe will take us all the way to the Champions League. Jude Brewer, a great centre-back who looks like a future England captain. A couple of players that were already at the club. Abrafa and Ajaria, standout players this season who we hope to be taking all the way to the Premier League. And of course our talisman, Stefan Kony. Plenty of excitement about this youngster. That's it for episode 1 of this rebuild. Looking forward to season 2, where we'll continue this trend of building on the youth academy and hoping to get Reading into the Premier League at the first attempt. See you then.